they cut it down. The Beardo done forever in a row. Row. Can I get a row? Row. Dressed up like a T-Rex with that perfect strut. All the people in the chat's just going nuts.
Widows, boys and girls, how are we all doing? Today, we're doing something a little different. This is a debunking video. It's not my debunking video. These are actually going to be my top 5 debunks off the internet. Now, I haven't decided yet, but one of these may be one of my own. And it involved Mindseed and a reflection. But I don't know if I'm going to keep that in because other people... I kind of want to show what the other people in the community are doing. People that I think are far better at debunking than I am. So the first video I'm going to show you is the first video I ever watched from World of Mr. Gree. Dandalf the Gree. We've become friends in the real world. We've become online friends. And when I first started doing my reaction videos and then kept finding myself debunking things, I kept getting told, hey, watch Mr. Gree, watch Mr. Gree. So I watched his... I didn't realise what I was watching, but it was his first ever debunking with logic. But the one that stood out to me, and it's something that I have taken into my own debunking, was his debunk on Ghosts of Carmel, Maine. Now, recently, Ghost Quest, aka Jimmy, has brought out this huge documentary, a 4-parter covering Ghosts of Carmel, Maine, where in the beginning he was fully invested, investigating, believing the EVPs, and then it all ends. I won't tell you how it ends, but you can just see this 4-year journey he's gone on investigating the claims of the Ghosts of Carmel, Maine. He could have just watched Mr. Gree's video, to be fair. But anyway, the reason I loved this video was the way Mr. Gree went into detail with his shadow figure behind the curtain. And the shadow figure drops, and I'm like, ooh, wonder how he did that. Then Mr. Gree has this nuanced approach where he's like, the camera jerks slightly. And that's because he's pulled something. Because when you do this, your whole body moves, and there's just this slight movement, and that was what added more credibility from, I think that's a sheet being pulled, to that's a sheet being pulled. You can see this jerking movement, which lends obviously more credibility to Dandalf's debunk than a shadow figure sliding under a bed. This and another was a toss-up of the best one for me, because there's also a video where a guy is laying in a grave and you see his shirt get pulled, and I thought that I had debunked it. Well, I did debunk it, but I got some bits slightly off because I didn't quite understand masking as well as I do now. But I only understand masking the way I do now because of Mr. Gree and his videos where he shows you how it's done. So let's join the thumb. Not a ghost. Not a ghost.
Right, this next one is called Ghosts of Carmel, Maine, I think, if I remember correctly. I've seen a couple of his videos, and it's about a shadow. It's mainly about a shadow ghost haunting mainly his bedroom, actually. I think it's like once or twice is down in his living room. See, now apparently he's there.
This is the clip.
Do you see it?
I saw it. I'm a believer.
Now, there's one thing I'd like to point out here. And the reason I saw this straight away, this little movement, right? Can you see? Yes, you can see my mouse cursor. Right, that little black thing there, that is apparently the ghost. In his window. There's other ones, by the way. There's other videos of the ghost just leaning on his bed, all in black. You know, obviously he doesn't stay around to check. But anyway, you know, but that there is, in this instance, is the ghost. Now, watch him pull back. There. Right, so just before the ghost jumps out of his window, you can see the guy holding the camera. He's sort of like, you could imagine he's standing there now with the camera. He's like that. You can sort of see him go like that. His movement goes like that before the ghost jumps out.
And if you also watch the bottom corner of this curtain, obviously where it's tied onto, you see the curtain pulling before, which would lead me to believe, yeah, there's a string out of there under the bed, and he's just pulled it clean under the bed. And I knew how it was done, but there was like a, how do you prove it? And obviously that camera jerk was everything.
Which is, I think, him pulling the string. He's pulling the string. Ready? Watch it now. See the camera? Go back now. He's just pulled the string. Now the reason why I noticed that straight away is because I did an almost exact effect, visual effect, in one of my short videos where I had animal. Where is he? Oh, he's not in here. But I had the little toy animal, which he was like sort of supposed to be picking around a corner, and I pulled a piece of string in order to make him go behind the corner. And you can actually, if you watch my video closely, you can see my camera movement pull the string because I just wasn't steady enough.
So yeah, whilst I knew how it was done, or I thought I knew how it was done, just that little nuance that Mr. Grey adds of the camera pulled. And then the more you watch it, the more obvious it becomes. And hands down, it is one of my favourite debunks ever. Just because it solidified what my thoughts were. But then that's when I started to learn there's little things that you can't help. Involuntary body reactions that the fakers will be unaware of. And I just thought it was an amazing debunk. And it was my introduction into this world of being a debunker of fake paranormal videos, or being a debunker of the paranormal in general, because not everything is fake. A lot of it is people misunderstanding, misinterpreting, and, that's fine. People can learn from that. It's only when they start shouting, crying, and screaming where you're like, we know what you're doing. I'm obviously going to link the channels in the description down below. Please go and check these guys out. Hand on heart, if it was not for Mr. Grey, I wouldn't have a debunking channel. This would never have become my job. And in a bizarre twist of fate, it turns out that Mr. Grey used to watch me gaming over on Twitch, and then a couple of months into my debunking, he was like, I know this guy. Small world. And it becomes an even smaller world when you realise that me and Mr. Grey were in the Army Cadets at the same age, around the same time, and we would have been on the same annual camps, and because we were both in the valleys, we would have been in the same battalion. Meaning that we probably met when we were kids, but we both looked a lot different. I had less hair, he had more. So my next favourite debunk comes from the side-eye guy. And this was, it was kind of a few parts, really, where he caught Mindseed using paid actors. He found the paid actors on IMDb. Mindseed made some claims about this haunted location, where it was, the weather on the night, and he disproved all of it by checking weather reports, checking the geography, and then checking out the location history and finding out it was just an Airbnb.
Mindseed filmed a ghost hunt in what they call
a haunted plantation in New Orleans, Louisiana.
They did a live stream before entering the house, and this live stream was uploaded on the 22nd of April 2023.
Hey, we got one in the chat with us. What's going on? Who's in here? How do we see this chat here?
We just pulled up to a location outside of New Orleans where we're going to be for the evening.
And we're sitting outside this place. We're in New Orleans, and this place looks pretty fucked up. This is where we're at here. Hit the window wipers one time. This is what we're about to be spending the night in right here.
This house was the first red flag because it looked nothing like what I'd imagine a Louisiana plantation would look like. So I did some research. I'm not even sure we're in the New Orleans area here. We know the date they did this investigation because of the live stream I mentioned earlier. The investigation happened on April 22nd, 2023. So I went on a few websites that record weather by date. New Orleans on the 22nd of April 2023 was a sunny day and a clear night. No storms or rain in the area at all. I also find it strange that since this is supposed to be a wedding venue, that I cannot find the website anywhere. Usually, wedding venues want to be found for obvious reasons. Now, of course, I don't know the name of this venue, and that makes it harder to find. But I spent a considerable amount of time searching for venues across the state of Louisiana, and nothing came up. Which brings me to my next point. I'm English, so obviously I'm not an expert on American architecture, but a quick Google search shows me this property looks nothing like a typical southern plantation. Of course, all of this is speculation, but it does make me wonder why Mindseed is so vague about this property.
And just go and check out the few videos he did where he busts some with that paid actors and stuff. Incredible, very smart debunks. Side-eye guy does the research debunks. Mr. Grey is a fantastic video analyst. He's got a history with editing and photography, filmography, things of that nature. And, you know, but then to look at something completely different, find like the weather reports, not be able to find the location that they say is a wedding hire venue. It's just very, very smart debunking. One of the smartest ones I've seen. My next favourite debunk, it is not a debunk of a specific channel, it is of a bit of equipment that for a while was the focal point of just about every investigator out there, whether they knew what they were doing or not. And it comes from Kenny Biddle. Now, Kenny Biddle I met much further on into my debunking sort of career. It feels weird calling this a career. But once I discovered Kenny Biddle's work, and I discovered him through Mr. Grey, completely blown away. This guy doesn't take educated guesses. This guy gets his hands on the equipment. He gets his hands on manuals for equipment and things. This is the guy responsible for the DR60 debunk, but that's not my favourite one. My favourite one is the Kinect does not capture ghosts.
Since this is my video, and I'm doing a, consider it like a public service announcement, very short video on the Xbox Kinect.
It was not short.
I'm not going to get into the
40 minutes?
workings, descriptions, and like nitty gritty of how it works. I'll bring you down here. So this has been going for about, oh shit, I don't know, like a half hour now.
Language, Kenny.
And the little guy hasn't moved. He's stuck on that chair with the bag. Like I said, it's a very quick video. I'm not looking to do anything in depth here. I'm just showing you examples and saying, hey, you know what? This can happen. It will happen. It's a definite flaw that must be taken into account when people use equipment like this. You can't just throw a device out there and claim to be scientific and using a device when you don't know how it works, you're not sure of the flaws, you don't control for the environment, and most importantly, you don't do what the fucking manufacturer says. And basically that means you have to clear a space. Like this space should be a good 10 by 10 area where nothing is in there.
And this is pretty common. I mean, when you think about the ghost hunting TV shows or, you know, YouTube videos that you see where ghost hunters go out and use this thing, they're getting stick figures because they're walking around. It's usually on a portable handle with a tablet attached to it, battery pack, and they're looking for this. Or even if it's stationary and they're moving about the scene, either walking into the scene or other things are getting into the scene. People using cameras with infrared lights can also affect it. We'll see that a little bit later.
So I'll link Kenny Biddle as well. But go and watch he's made a few videos on the Kinect, and it's through Kenny Biddle's videos that we realise you can't move the Kinect because you confuse it. It's not meant to be moved. It's meant to be put at a certain height in a certain sized room. And it's because of Kenny Biddle that I didn't buy a Kinect, because I used to watch stuff and I'd be like, that's incredible. Wow. On occasion you'd be like, I'm pretty sure that's picked up the arm of that sofa there, or it's picked up that thing. But then as soon as you take into account moving it and all the rest of it, then you got Mr. Grey who discussed that the infrared has got to bounce off something to give you the stick figure. And if there's nothing there and you've got a stick figure, then it's probably been overlaid, because you should see an outline of what the IR is bouncing off. Very smart debunks, and it all stemmed from Kenny Biddle's work. I mean, this was 6 years ago he did this, and people are still using this crap now and claiming it to be real. Really Haunted. Kenny Biddle's also debunked Really Haunted and recreated a lot of his things with relative ease. And the next debunk doesn't actually come from a debunking channel. It comes from a paranormal investigation channel. A channel that I trust because they debunk live. They debunk on location. And many of you will know that I've become good friends with the Ouija Brothers. And initially, I watched the Ouija Brothers like 7 years ago when they first started. And I'm watching the videos and I'm like, nothing's happening. This sucks. I'm off to go and watch some other stuff. And then in lockdown, I rediscovered the Ouija Brothers, and I was like, I'd been investigating on and off up to lockdown. Never recorded anything because nothing ever happened. Watching these guys put out videos where nothing happened, and when things did happen, they were debunking it on the spot, was such a breath of fresh air and mirrored my own experiences with the paranormal. I'm sat there like, why aren't I getting what all these other teams are getting? And then there's a channel that even back then were doing really well, who are sharing my experiences in the paranormal, that it's not every episode without fail, week after week after week. But the debunk I wanted to bring your attention to, and I'm not going to show the whole thing because this is a 20-minute video, is Fake EVPs Exposed, featuring Proven Demons and PX-TV. I don't even know who PX-TV are. So obviously Steve's in his editing software here, and then he notices something in his editing software.
Hey people, I'm going to show you why these EVP recorders are so unreliable. We've been using this now since August of 2017, and at first when we got it we thought, wow, you know, we're getting some, you know, really good results, until I went back home and I looked through the footage, and you know, because I know, you know, I've been doing video editing for years, and you know, I mess around with the sound and I enhanced the sound and stuff like that. We was getting responses with this thing using a specific mode that makes anything sound like an EVP. I've already got this footage kind of up and ready. So yeah, if the episode is Children of the Damned, and it was with me and Griff at a school. Now we got 2 EVPs that we thought, wow, how amazing is this? So I'm just going to show you the EVP that we actually caught. So I've got to go. So here we go. Here's the EVP that we thought we caught. Listen to this. So it sounds like a yes. Now I actually go to the time frame, and you can see, in fact, it's just Griff's arms moving. Watch this. Do you want to be friends with me and Griff? There you go. See, it's the exact same sound. Now, let me play that one, the EVP sound with the real-time footage. Now, I know it's not the best example. I will see what I can kind of do in the...
Steve, in his defence, thought he was, with his honesty, alerting people to the settings on this particular recorder. The settings we're all using is giving us false positives, and we all have to stop because, you know, what we're putting out there isn't honest once we find this out. And he thought he was helping people, and the blowback they got from this was next level. I mean, it took them into debunking level. It took them into the levels of toxicity aimed at them that the debunkers get, because they dared take away false positives. But it's a fantastic debunk. It was a brave debunk, and you know, it wasn't intending on hurting anyone. It was a debunk of their own footage, of their own equipment, that they were like, we all need to learn that this isn't usable. And for the final one, I'm not going to use my own, I've decided. There are better debunks from this lunatic, but he took most of his debunking content down off the platform after being relentlessly harassed by people, despite him being a very nice man. This is again somebody that I've become very close friends with in the real world, and this is from the big no shit purple pirate, Parrple.
Good nipple. Good nappin' nippin' knackin' nippin' nappin' doo nippin' nappin' 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 Beardo's Weirdos.
Hey, it's my line. He discovered that AI could actually catch out paranormal fakery, and he did it with everyone's favourite fakers, Lainey and Ben. Obviously, there's a storied history between us all, but that's all done and dusted. This is about the debunk and how Parrple integrated AI to test the validity of this video. Absolutely fantastic. And I've done this myself. Northern Paranormal Investigators, whatever they were called, where the grudge head peered from behind the door. I did this AI test, and the AI detected 8 different cuts in the movement of the camera going back and forth. Obviously, those cuts are where they've got somebody in, poked the head out, pulled the head back out, moved out of the way, and all the rest of it. Fantastic. Really smart debunking with tools that are available to most of us. Because me and Parrple use different editing software. I can't remember what he uses in this, but I use DaVinci Resolve. And it has automatic scene detection, so you can find the cuts automatically. Does the work for you. Is it perfect? Probably not, but still, watch.
That took far too many takes, and I really didn't expect it to take that long. So I've got it over to the reaction screen now, and here we are in Premiere Pro, and I have literally, as you can see, so this is the we can't believe we caught this in our haunted house from Lainey and Ben, and I've just trimmed off the beginning and trimmed off the end, and so basically this is a piece of footage where apparently when we skim through, we can see obviously stick figures being caught, and then we see this magic thing caught on camera walking across as a whole body here, as we can see. Now this is something I actually did myself in an older video which I showed how it was done. I dressed up like an idiot in a blue screen suit and showed this. So we're just going to apply scene detection to this and keep our fingers crossed and just see if it detects any naughty little goings on, shall we? I will let it run in real time. I'm going to click here. I'm going to click scene edit detection. And then I'm going to click. And then I'm going to click.
You did the backwards and forwards button.
What can I say? Analyze. There we go. Sorry, I lost my mouse button then. I'm just going to analyze that clip, let it go in real time. While you're here and waiting, if you'd like to hit that like and subscribe button. God, I sound like a YouTube person. But if you'd like to hit the like and subscribe button, that'd be very, very good. We have amazing community game night streams on Wednesday. And the weirdest live stream you've ever seen in your life on Thursday. Don't believe me, some people in the comments will tell you just how miraculously, brilliantly weird it is. But yes, so this is nearly finished now. It doesn't take too long. Just talking through this so you can see there's no EBGBs going on here, which, you know, in all fairness, last time people were very, very happy with the way that we did this. This footage that I'm showing you is all meant to be one piece of footage that's just been sped up. So as it's being sped up, you will find that that scene edit detect really struggles with these sped up, and we can see some cuts already. So let's bring up and see where the cuts are, just to see if there's anything that's, you know. So that's Ben walking out of the room. So what we're going to do here is I will just elongate the timeline just so we can see if anything happens. So if we look on the screen at the cut, oh wow, there we go. So if we noticed, just by a miracle of course, just before the cut, I'm pretty sure we saw some green. So just before the cut, just on the bottom right hand corner, so we can actually see some movement right here in the bottom right hand corner. And then just after this, couple of frames,
boom,
by some miracle, something jumps in the bottom right hand corner of the screen. Well, that cut shouldn't have been there because it shouldn't exist. Now, if we just go forward a little bit more just to see what other treats they have aligned for us, it seems the AI test is going to be a spectacular fail for Lainey and Ben, I'm afraid.
Uh-oh.
So here it's detecting a cut because the lights change. Now this is often a way that you can tell a cut. So a lot of cameras, I think Lainey and Ben use a ZV-1, I believe, which is very similar to Mr. Gray's camera. I'm sorry, they have the same camera. I think that's what they use. They use a fixed lens camera. Now the thing with people who don't know how to use these fixed lens cameras, Mr. Gray does know how to use his fixed lens camera. This is why you don't really get exposure changes. So I apologise, I got distracted by pretty lights then. So an exposure change is simply when there's some kind of shift in the lighting in the room, the camera, when it's set to its automatic settings, will adjust to fix its own sensor. So there's in the camera there's like this little sensor, and what it does is it processes light that goes through it. And when different amounts of light go through, it adjusts the picture to suit. If you read again, we have another cut right there. Right, so there's literally, it picked it up and I thought it had made a mistake, but it really didn't. So I actually thought that Adobe was like flawed then, but it's not. If we go frame by frame with this turning look, for one frame where the cut is, it actually disappears, and then the next frame, it appears back again. And yeah, it's still detecting, and we can see it's alerted us to the fact there was a hidden cut there, and we found that hidden cut.
And this is a fantastic debunk to me because it shows that while the fakers are going to start implementing AI, the software we already use as video editors will be able to pick up this AI trickery. So there's a lot of fear in the community right now, especially the skeptical and the paranormal community, that AI is going to make it more difficult for us to detect fakery. But if you're using AI to fake, then our AI editing software is going to be able to pick up on the AI fakery. This may not seem like such a huge deal right now, but in the future, this debunk from Parrple is going to be massive. Absolutely massive for the paranormal and massive for the debunking community. And it's, again, something I learned from Parrple and something that I use in my videos just to see if I can detect scenes, because I'm sometimes unsure on if I've got the cut right, and then I'll just run it through the software a bit quick and be like, yeah, that is a cut. At least I've bolstered it for myself. Okay, so bonus, the best debunk that I think I have done, and this is the Mindseed debunk where there's lights flicking on and off, and I'm like, if there was somebody in there, surely the reflection would be caught. And it's caught. I'll just let it play. If somebody was in that room, flicking the lights and pulling the door like this, well, the reflection would be caught, wouldn't it? It would. Wait. Who's this? Who is this? Who's that? Well, fuck me. That poltergoose looks exactly like Colton. Look. There he is, Colton. Hi. You've been pulling the door and turning the lights on, mate. There he is. Look how clear he is. You may be wondering why my hair's changed and why my t-shirt's changed. It's because after I inserted the Mind Seed debunk, I forgot to untap the mute on my microphone and I recorded the outro with no volume. Please check out the video description down below. I will have linked the 5 channels from those debunks. If you sat there like, hey, why didn't you feature The Shape? Why didn't you feature Mythos? Why didn't you feature Paranormal Seekers? Why didn't you feature Andrew Stonerock? At some point I will, but this was just sort of the big 5 that immediately stand out to me. I'd like to make more like this of other people's debunks that I think are either sort of genius in the way they've spotted them or could impact future debunking investigation videos and things like that. I think this kind of positive approach and trying to get eyes on the other debunkers, it's a good thing for the paranormal community, it's a good thing for the debunking community, because for the most part we all sit side by side in just wanting the truth and, or at the very least, honest investigations. So leave your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thinking about it, let me know your favourite debunks by your favourite debunker. Let's put in a time code for the video you want me to look at, and then I can look at that video, and then the next top 5 or top 10 that I do favourite debunks will be your guys. It'll be the viewers' top 5 or top 10 debunks. And hopefully we can make a few videos like this. I didn't turn all the lights on and stuff because I'm in the middle of editing, and then realised, yeah, I didn't turn my mic on. Much love to you all. Beardo out.
If you're just feeling like crap, all you have to do is ask. Beardo's got your back.